Thanks for joining us on Indivisible. I'm your host, John Stubbins, and we are thrilled to have you with us. This is the show where we put God, family, and country first, and we will always tell you the truth. Now, we're streaming today across many platforms, obviously PatriotTV.live, FrankSpeech.com, CloudHub, Pill.net, Foxhole app, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pure Social TV, Spreely.com, and we're going to be continuing to add more. I know that soon we're going to be also joining MAGAinfo.tv, and also President Trump has a new website coming out, so that's exciting stuff. Make sure that if you do go to the YouTube channel, Stubbins.org, that you subscribe for free, click the notifications bell. Now, real quick shout out to Mike Lindell, our sponsor, and also Mike is going up to Canada today to deliver pillows to the truckers. We want to give a huge shout out to Mike and My Pillow and everybody there for an amazing job that they do and helping patriots everywhere as they always do. A couple weeks back, you remember they delivered pillows to the victims of the huge storm in Kentucky, and Mike continues to step up where others do not. Now, also at mypillow.com, use the promo code Indivisible, or you can also call my 1-800 number. That's 1-800-716-4639, and use my promo code Indivisible, and you will get huge discounts. There's huge discounts on towels, on slippers right now, and pillows. You can get up to 66% off. So you'll see that. I've posted that across social media, including LinkedIn, which we don't talk about, but we've been posting more there. So let's get right to it today. We got a great show, and I want to talk a little bit about, before we start, the policies, not just in blue cities everywhere, but specifically New York. New York has the Nobel policy. They have some of the worst crime statistics on the uptick in the nation right now. Smash and grab, robberies, looting, assault, murder, assaults on police officers. You know what de Blowhard did by defunding the police there, number one. And aside from just defunding the police, also eliminating special crime units that dealt with gun crime on the street. He pulled that away. And when you do that, you see what's happening. A lot of that money now is leaving New York. It's going to Florida, it's Tennessee, Texas, all over the country, to red states, and states where people can live a decent life and not have to put up with this nonsense. The subways are a mess in New York. It goes on and on and on. People are afraid to even walk the streets there. And we'll get into the smash and grabs. I want to bring on my first guest, Mike Rakebrandt, who is running for Congress in New York District 2. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
We're thrilled to have you. Mike is a NYPD police officer. Tell the audience a little bit about what you're doing with NYPD right now.
I'm a detective. I'm currently assigned to the 71st Precinct Detective Squad in Brooklyn, Crown Heights, mostly. So there I work on the old homicides. I help assist with the new homicides or active shootings, things of that nature.
How's that going? What are you seeing on the street since Adams has taken over and de Blowhard is gone? What are you seeing on the streets? How's it going? Is there a slowdown at all in crime, or is it pretty much even keel where it's been with the Blowhard?
Honestly, it's probably going up to a certain degree, just because the policies that the last administration put in place are still in place. I know Mayor Adams has come out against them and tried to persuade the governor and the Senate to kind of change that, but they've basically rejected all that. So with those policies in place, it's not going to get better. It's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse, because there's nothing to stop them. I mean, if I go out and I commit, multiple robberies and I'm released right back out into society again, there's nothing to say I shouldn't do it,
Well, and not only that, but let's also talk about the prosecutors there. They don't want to prosecute crime. They've got this no bail policy. Yep. I'm trying to remember the prosecutor. Is it Letitia something? trying to remember the prosecutor.
She's the AG, Letitia James. Yeah, the AG for New York State.
That's
right.
it.
She's more interested in going after Trump's organization than actually prosecuting criminals.
Yeah, she wants to get Trump, but she doesn't want to protect the citizens of New York, right?
That's true. That's true.
You know, it's really disturbing because I used to live in New York, and you know, when I was there, it was a fantastic city. It was safe. Giuliani came in and cleaned it up.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, then we end up. This is where we are, and it says to me, you know, we can do better than this. You know, we've got people like Chuck Schumer and AOC, you know, and people like Adams and the Blowhard, and it's just really disturbing. It's like I know New York has such better people,
yeah,
and people that care about that city that don't want to see it run into the ground.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, even the people you deal with day to day in these so-called like low-income communities or where I work or anything like that, the majority of these people are hardworking. They're decent people. They're trying to raise their families and just kind of, you know, live their lives. But you have politicians and bureaucrats and all these people who are, you know, promoting whatever agenda, promoting their agenda, you know, that are undermining the security, the safety, the prosperity of every community, you know, across the nation. In New York, it's very obvious, you know, but I mean, if you look at policies that, I mean, look at Detroit or Baltimore, you know, vibrant cities at one point that are now completely gutted and destroyed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's not just Detroit and Baltimore. It's Chicago. It's San Francisco. It's Portland. You know, it's Seattle. It's Los Angeles, right?
Nation. Absolutely. It's
all these cities across the country, and they all have the same similar failed leadership.
Yep. One party rule. Yep.
Exactly. They have the same no bail policies, right? Yep. You know, in other words, let's kiss the butt of the criminal.
Right.
Let's let them out of prison.
Right. Exactly.
Let's let them destroy neighborhoods, wreak havoc on the community so that nobody wants to be there anymore, so that people can't, you know, take a walk with their kids. I mean, you know, it's crazy because I tell you, when I call him de Blasio,
I love it.
When he was in office, you know, he actually came out and fought for a policy that allowed people to defecate in the street.
Yeah.
And for that to be okay and legal.
Yeah.
And, you know,
him in the city council. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I'm walking my little girl or my little son, you know, anywhere in New York City, I don't want them to see that. I don't want to get on the subway with them and have them see people laying all over the cars and assaulting people on the subway and, you know, defecating in the subway itself. I mean, it's insane. When I lived in New York, I rode the subway and I loved it. It was the best way to get around.
Sure. It was safe. And we had good policies. We had strong leadership. You know, we had a clear mandate to address crime and crime conditions. Now it's a free-for-all, you know. We've taken victims with these policies and we've cast them off to the side and said they're nowhere near as relevant or as important as these so-called victims of the state, you know. But realistically, the state is the one that's put these people in these positions to begin with. Decades of Democrat policies have crushed these communities, crushed their ability to have upward mobility and to kind of empower themselves and be educated properly. And yet, you know, here they are crushing that same community again with crime, with you know, inflation, with everything they can possibly do to keep these communities down in the gutter. You know, it's insane. 100
distractions thrown against the wall to try to keep you off balance so you can't focus. It's crazy. By the way, scrolling at the bottom, you'll see all of the ways that you can connect with Mike and his campaign. You know, again, on Facebook, Mike Rakebrandt for Congress.
Yes.
You can look up Mike there. Mike Rakebrandt for Congress. And then also, he's running again in District 2, which we'll talk about in a minute. His website is MikeRakebrandt4Congress.com.
Yep.
And then on Twitter, @Mike, 4, Congress, 2.
Yes,
so that's on Twitter. I want to talk about District 2 for a minute.
Sure.
And your competition there. What's it looking like?
So running against Andrew Garbarino, he's the incumbent right now. He's Republican, supposedly. He's a big old rhino, you know.
Okay.
He's rated over 94% more liberal than every other House Republican right now, including Liz Cheney. It's amazing, isn't it?
That's crazy.
pushing the Fairness for All bill with the guy from Utah, Representative Stewart from Utah, is pushing this bill. So it's basically a watered down version of the Democrats' Equality Act for trans people. So this guy's pushing a bill that would allow biological males to be in these female locker rooms and other places. And after what we've already seen in Loudoun County in Virginia, I don't see how anyone thinks this is a good idea. It's an absolutely insane. And this guy, he voted for the infrastructure bill. He voted for red flag laws. He voted for the vaccine mandate database for the feds. He just voted for funding illegal aliens. I mean, this guy is not even remotely Republican, much less a conservative.
But he says he's a Republican, right?
He claims to be, but he's completely, his policy decisions are way, way, way off the mark for even a remotely a centrist Republican. He's just very, very liberal.
What's his cash situation?
I think right now in his campaign, I believe he's sitting at something like about $1 million right now. I believe he raised about 340 something thousand last quarter, in the last quarter of 21. I haven't seen the updated, obviously, for this quarter yet, but I believe that's what he raised in the last quarter. But that's down significantly from what he had raised previous to that. I know from others he's lost a lot of support in the community.
I was just getting ready to ask that. Yeah. What kind of support do you think he really has?
He's losing a lot of it. His big donors, his big supporters, a lot of them are pulling away from him. Right now, the party is still kind of sticking with him because I think it's more about not airing the dirty laundry so much or creating kind of the civil war in the party. But at the end of the day, I mean, everybody I've spoken to across the board has abandoned this guy in every way, shape, or form. It's just not going to end well for him.
Is he toxic? Is there something that is it the mask mandates? Is it the crime situation? What is the thing that you can put your finger on and say, this is the thing or things that the constituents aren't going to put up with this guy?
The biggest complaint I've heard about him from the start of this campaign has been that he's never around. He doesn't meet with constituents. He doesn't respond to them. He doesn't talk to them. He's never at any events. And beyond that, it's people reaching out to him about vaccine mandates, about mask mandates, about things that obviously are very much concerning to parents, to people. And again, this guy's a ghost. There's no real answers, no clear policy, nothing advocated for anything. He just doesn't advocate for anything that has anything remotely to do with what people are concerned most about. Listen, I have no problem with, if someone's willing to take that vaccine and that's what they want to do, that's their right. But forcing it into people's arms is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting, and it should not be happening. Going beyond that to the mask mandate, that's another one. It's harmful to children. It's been proven in numerous ways, numerous studies. And yet here we are with, Governor Hochul with her apostles, going around and forcing this down people's throats. It's an attack on American families. It's just pure and simple an attack on American families.
What's crazy?
MIA.
Well, I was going to say real quick, one of the things that drives me nuts is I hear this every election cycle, every primary. Yep. The Democrats never show up. Yep. They never show up to any, it's like, a Republican will show up and, a lot of these people will thumb their nose because they have an R beside their name. Yep. Okay. Which is ridiculous. At least listen to what they have to say.
Sure.
Okay. Because obviously our ideas are better. Number one, but these guys don't even show up.
No,
like you just said. I mean, it's really disturbing, but it's not surprising at all. No. So, look, I get it. But the New York people, the constituents there, they deserve a lot better. We're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back with Mike Rakebrandt. We've tried so many of Mike's products at MyPillow. Whether it's the Giza Dream Sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, or whether it's the MyPillow towel sets. Me and my family here at Indivisible, we've tried all of Mike's great products and we just love them. My mom loves her robe. Mark loves the big dog bed for Shakespeare. And my favorite, the moccasins, which are really great for my feet. Save up to 66% off for MyPillow products for you and your family. Go to MyPillow.com and enter the promo code Indivisible for my show, or call 1-800-716-4639 and give them the promo code Indivisible for my show. You're going to love it. We're back. Mike, I want to give a quick shout out to brother Joe Murray for introducing us,
Great guy.
bringing you on the show. Joe's a great guy, friend of this program, and a staunch conservative and a patriot.
Yes,
And I know, how long you known Joe?
actually, not that long. I met him recently, but we were talking. We actually had some friends in common, and we started talking and talking about the campaign and everything. And he was a huge ally. He jumped on board right away. He's been tremendous for us.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy, great lawyer,
Awesome. Yep.
And a patriot. Like I said,
Super intelligent, great guy.
oh yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you about the a little bit more. Well, first of all, before I say that, I want to see if you wanted to comment on Trudeau, the dictator.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Fidel's son.
This guy, he wants to now, arrest these truckers. Okay, this guy, he's the dictator now, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, he declared martial law, right? He brought in his Emergency Powers Act to remove people who are rightfully protesting a very, very restrictive and ridiculous policy mandate. So I mean, he's showing himself what he truly is, right? He's showing himself to be the tyrant he's always been. That's all it is.
This guy just nuts. I wanted to also talk to you a little bit more about the crime, the smash and grabs, the looting.
Yeah,
that's really been on an uptick over the last year, and
nationwide.
Yeah, nationwide. And I know in New York City, it's just really, I mean, it's Louis Vuitton, it's it's all these big stores, it's Rolex. Sure. I mean, what are the retailers at these stores saying? Their insurance has got to be going through the roof.
I've heard of multiple large chains and stores that are actually closing down locations because of the problems with not just the smash and grab, but also with the shoplifting is so out of control in the city. Because again, they don't get prosecuted, so they can get away with it, and they just go in and they steal thousands of dollars of medicine or whatever else they can get and sell it. So, and there's a lot of issues beyond even just the smash and grabs. But with the smash and grabs, these stores are being, looted for literally hundreds of thousands of dollars at a whack, by these teams of people coming in just smashing, taking everything. And I'd like to say that it's kind of almost partially on these stores to a certain degree. They came out publicly supporting all these groups. They came out publicly supporting all these so-called candidates that were for change, these progressive candidates that realistically we all know what they're really about. It's totalitarian, nonsense. So it's hard to feel bad for them in that sense. As a cop, I'll tell you that there is a tremendous amount we could do to stop this, but it would require them actually being prosecuted and actually held.
Yeah,
so it's just not happening. So it's not going to stop until we actually get back to enforcing the law again.
Yeah, and if you have a no bail policy and they're right back on the streets in 4 or 6 hours, and then they go out and assault somebody or rob somebody else. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I saw this woman who was bashed in the head the other day.
Sure.
And it's just I don't know if it was a baseball bat or what. It looked like a baseball bat.
Right.
And I mean, my God, this guy just comes up from behind her. She doesn't even see him. She's walking on the street in New York. I think it was maybe even Brooklyn, and just takes her out with a baseball bat. I mean, that is such evil, beyond criminal. I mean, someone like that is such filth. They need to be locked up, man.
Listen, we were locking them up at the Cyclic, right? So we just had this young lady that was murdered, unfortunately, in Manhattan, A guy follows her home, follows her in her building, stalks her up the stairs, attacks her in her apartment, murders her, right? You look at his arrest history, he's got a significantly long arrest history. So we're doing our job, right? We're collaring them. We're arresting these people, but they have to be prosecuted.
They have to be prosecuted. And I'll even go further. Not only do they have to be prosecuted, but we need to strengthen the sentencing.
Absolutely.
Mandatory.
Absolutely.
Mandatory minimums.
Absolutely. 100%.
Real quick, we're running out of time. I just wanted to ask you, what are some of the top things other than crime, other than the mask mandates? I know that you care about veterans. I know you care about your fellow
100%.
officers. What else is on the table for your constituents that you want to change, that you want to, the change you want to bring to New York and make the difference with, that your constituents want you to bring and that you care about?
I'd like to bring Lee Zeldin's, Dwyer Act bill to a House floor vote to get it nationwide, helping veterans, peer-to-peer counseling. I think it'd be an amazing jump forward to end that 22 a day number. Beyond that, I want to see, bills passed to allow for hate crime charges at the federal level for anyone using political activism as a means to attack or hurt any first responder, whether it's fire, EMS, or police personnel, with stiff penalties. I think that's how we end these Antifa and BLM riots and things of that nature.
Yes.
Those are two big things that I'm looking to push as soon as I get in the door.
Well, look, brother, when's your primary?
June 28th, sir.
Okay. So it's, we'd like to have you back before
Absolutely.
your primary. Okay.
Absolutely.
Keep us informed.
I will.
Let us know how you're doing. Say hi to Joe for us.
I will.
And we'll definitely have you back, brother. Like I said, we're rooting you on.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, John.
God bless you, brother.
God bless you. Thank you, brother.
By now, you've all heard me talk about Mike and his great products. Well, guess what? Mike's now introduced his MyPillow My Slippers, which are fantastic. Great on my feet, soft as can be. I love them. Mike's taken over 2 years to develop these slippers. He's designed them to wear indoor or outdoor all day, all night long. Made with MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue. Made with quality leather suede. For a limited time, Mike is offering 40% off his new My Slippers. The My Slippers are so comfortable, you're going to want to get them for the whole family. Go to mypillow.com and click on the radio listener square and use promo code INDIVISIBLE. You'll also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, and MyPillow towel sets. Or call 1-800-716-4639 and enter INDIVISIBLE as your promo code. We're back, and I want to bring on to the show now my friend Jim Marchant from Nevada. He's running for Secretary of State. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, John. How are you?
Good, brother. It's been crazy, getting busy this time of the year, as you know. Primaries coming up, CPAC's coming up. We're getting ready to go back on the road. We've been, bringing you the truth from down at the border. We've been working on Afghanistan. We're working on this BLM and just total nonsense, CRT crap. But look, man, we're thrilled to have you today. How's it going out in Nevada?
Going well. I'm actually at an election integrity meeting where Conservative Partnership Institute, you know who they are. It's Jim DeMint, Mark Meadows, Cleta Mitchell, the House Freedom Caucus group has put on some meetings out here in Nevada. We're in Reno today. We just finished our meeting just now. We've got another one this evening in Carson City. Tomorrow morning, we're in Fallon, Nevada. And then the next day, I think it's Thursday, the 17th, we're in Pahrump, Nevada, and then Las Vegas, and that's our tour. And what we're doing is we're mobilizing the grassroots leaders to get organized, to make a difference in the coming elections, both the primary and the general election in November, because we all know what happened in 2020. Massive amount of voter fraud, or at least anomalies and irregularities that we need to investigate. and we've just got to figure out how to stop their manipulation of the election system, and that's what we're doing. We have identified a lot of stuff. Went to Mark Meadows, Jim DeMint, and Cleta Mitchell last June, and I said, we need help. And they actually got into action, and they formed this organization, and they came up with a plan to help states kind of do something about their election systems. And Virginia was the first state that they did something, and it turned out pretty well. And we're going to export that to other states around the country, and that's what we're doing right now.
I've got several friends that are running for Congress in Virginia, so keep me informed on that. And by the way, I want to talk about your run not only for Secretary of State, but this coalition of America First Secretary of State candidates, which Jody Heiss, who's going to be coming on my show from Georgia, Rachel Hamm, who I talked with back in October when I was with Lara Logan down in Texas. Mark Fincham, Arizona. Christina Caramo, Michigan.
Right.
David Winnie,
Colorado.
And I guess Doug
Doug
Mastriano.
Mastriano is part of our group.
Pennsylvania. He's running for governor. My friend Teddy Daniels is running for lieutenant governor.
Right. Well, see, so the reason Senator Mastriano is involved is he appoints the Secretary of State. So he loves our group, very involved. He's on our call every week that we do. So we're looking forward to making a difference. We're about to bring on somebody from Minnesota, probably Wisconsin. So we're growing.
How about Ohio?
Haven't talked to anybody there yet, but if you know somebody that's good, would love to bring them into our group.
Yeah, I'll have to check into that and find out, who's running the cycle. But I want to talk. There's a lot to cover here. Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon came out and said, "Dude, greatest campaign ever."
Yeah, campaign ad ever. Yeah.
Yeah, greatest campaign ad ever. Tell the audience about that, Jim.
Well, so about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right here in Reno, I was ambushed by CNN.
Yeah, I was going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah, well, anyway, so that's what I actually texted that clip. It was a 10-minute clip by Jim Acosta and his Democracy in Peril thing, whatever. Give me a break. So I texted it to Steve. I said, well, I guess we're over the target. And he texted me back. He said, dude, greatest campaign ad ever, because he knows I'm running for Secretary of State here in Nevada. And so he loved it. And, the Guardian, UK, Business Insider, 60 Minutes, everybody is scared of what we're doing. And they're just writing hit piece after hit piece about me and my coalition and what I'm doing. And so we're over the target for sure.
Oh, yeah. You're scaring them, Jim.
Yeah. They're scared to death. Yes.
Yeah, they don't like that, do they?
They do not. They're not used to people fighting back, and they are trying to say, who's behind this? Who's supporting this? But it's just a group of patriots that are sick and tired of what's going on with our country, and we're stepping up to try to save it.
Yeah, and your resolve's a lot stronger than theirs because they've been doing this test for a long time.
Yes, yeah.
They just expect you to sit on your hands and take your medicine.
That's exactly right. They think we're going to go away, and that is not going to happen, I can tell you.
Well, you know how involved I am.
Yes.
With election integrity and coast to coast. Okay. Yep. I don't care if it's in California. I don't care if it's in Virginia. It doesn't matter. Georgia, Arizona, all over the place. We've been working on this because, look, you can talk one thing about the machines, then you can talk another thing about the ballots themselves, the paper ballots. But the bottom line is that it's happening. People are smart enough to realize that it's happening. They're not stupid, okay? They see what's happening out here, and they know that the system is rigged.
Yep.
And they're tired of it. Now, I know that recently you got, about a month or two ago, you got endorsed by Mark Meadows.
Yes.
And look, I'd like to have you and Mark back on. When's your primary, by the way?
June 14th.
Okay. I definitely want to have you guys on before that primary. Okay. So that we can get this message out to people on a broad scale. Okay. And let them know about this coalition. Because it's important what you're doing.
Right.
Very important. And election integrity is crucial.
It's the number one topic around the country for every candidate, even governors and lieutenant governors. That's what people are asking them. What are you doing to fix our election system? That's why people are finally realizing how important the Secretary of State seats are. And they are the most crucial elections in this cycle, the 2022 cycle.
That's right.
Because the Secretaries of State predominantly control the election systems around the country. And we finally figured it out. And, some people very close to President Trump approached me after the election last year, which if I ran for Congress and
Yes,
was
sir.
a victim of election fraud. And I started immediately the day after uncovering the fraud, exposing how they did it. And got the Trump team or people around Trump got wind of it. They said, we're here to help. We started fighting in Nevada, suing. I actually did a lawsuit and didn't, the judge basically said, not enough evidence for me to even look at your evidence. Give me a break.
Yeah.
So I've been working on it for a whole year. And like I said, I got with CPI about a year ago, actually a little less than a year ago. I said, help us. And they did. And they stepped up. They put together a plan. You see what happened in Virginia. And like I said, we're going to export that to other states.
Yeah. And look, we know that these courts, all the way up to the Supreme Court, state level, local level, Supreme Court level, they've all been saying that they don't want to look at the evidence. So if you're not even willing to review the evidence, how can you tell me with a straight face that you've determined that there's no evidence?
Well, they're saying there's not enough evidence.
I see.
How do they even know
there's
not enough evidence if they won't
how do you
even
know
look
that
at
if
it?
you don't look?
Right, exactly. So, yeah, we're trying everything we can. I'm trying to get some sheriffs out here to step up and do their job because they're the top law enforcement officials in the counties, and they don't even need probable cause. They have reasonable suspicion that a crime was committed. And based on what we've seen out of Mesa, Colorado, and Tina Peters out there, the clerk that basically allowed for somebody to look at the backups that she did before and after the election, crimes were committed. And I can promise you, if I was the Secretary of State of Colorado right now and that crime happened under me, I would be in jail. Instead, their Secretary of State is walking free, causing more damage. Exactly.
And we're going to talk about crime in just a minute. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back with our friend Jim Marchant. Big news, America. Mike is bringing back the pillow offer for just $29.98. They're the softest pillows. They don't go flat. Wash them and dry them as many times as you like, and they still keep their shape. And they're made in America. Mike is offering his premium My Pillows at his lowest price ever. Queen size for $29.98, regularly $69.98. That's a $40 savings. And king size, only $5 more. Go to mypillow.com and enter the promo code INDIVISIBLE for my show. Or call 1-800-716-4639 and give them the code INDIVISIBLE for my show, and you're going to get huge savings. We're back with Jim Marchant. Jim, I want to talk to you about crime. You see what's happening around these blue states around the country. What's happening in Nevada?
We have a serious problem with crime out here because we are a blue state. Supposedly, I don't think we are, but we're run by Democrats or people that are liberal, and we have some serious issues out here with crime. I mean, Las Vegas is it's not very good right now, and then all over the state, Washoe County, which is Reno, Carson City area, crime's up there. But we have a serious problem, and it's because there are no consequences for people doing crimes.
Is there a no bail policy there in Nevada?
There is. Vegas? Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And that was, they actually passed that in the session that I was in, the assembly. Of course, I didn't vote for it, but it's ridiculous. I mean, we're controlled by Democrats here, so they pass the most ridiculous laws that you can imagine. They copy California, and that includes the election laws. We now have mail-in balloting as a law. Unreal. We have motor voter law. They reverse from an opt-out or opt-in to an opt-out. Yeah, you have to opt out of it. You're automatically registered, and they're registering illegals out here. So, I mean, we have huge problems that. And that's why it's so important that we get a America First Secretary of State candidate in there that will ensure that we have a fair election so that the people of Nevada's voice will be heard and the people that they really elected are in office. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing.
I'm sure your constituents are probably in your ear saying, what can we do about crime? And when you allow this, I was just talking to Mike Rakebrandt, who's running for Congress out of New York.
Right.
You know the problems they've got there, and it's no bail policy. It's
Right.
no the prosecutors won't prosecute.
Right.
So these criminals, they're emboldened when they know they can assault somebody or set something on fire or smash and grab a jewelry store and be out on the street in 4 hours.
No consequences. And when people ask me, what can we do? I say, elect me as your Secretary of State. I'll fix the election system, and you can elect the people that you actually want in office will actually be in office. And those will be people that will not allow this to happen and that will fix the problem.
Sure.
And that's the message we got to get out to the whole country. You have to elect conservative America First secretaries of state so we can fix the election system. George Soros and Harry Reid knew this back in 2004 when they did and spent tens of millions of dollars on the Secretary of State project. You can look it up. They spent tens of millions of dollars and they concentrated on getting liberal, progressive secretaries of state candidates elected in key swing states all around the country.
Yep.
And the 2020 election is a direct result of that plan that was hatched right here in Nevada, actually. George Soros and Harry Reid with their lackey Secretary of State in 2006, and the rest was history.
Yeah, Harry Reid. Don't get me started on Harry Reid.
No, me either.
He's a scumbag, man.
No, he might be a little hot right now. So.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because we've been seeing there's a huge uptick right now in law enforcement officers getting shot at. We just saw one in Phoenix the day or so ago. I don't know if you saw that. You had 5 officers shot. You had 4 of them hit by shrapnel, and they were just trying to save a baby.
Exactly.
And as soon as they try to save the baby, they get shot at in the doorway.
Yep. I mean, exactly.
These people are crazy, man.
Yeah, we had a police officer out here shot in the head, and he's basically a vegetable right now, and it's so sad. And it did not have to happen.
It's unnecessary.
Yes,
it's unnecessary.
Yep.
But you've got these racists who call everybody else a racist out here thinking that they're going to get away with this, but they're not. We're gonna take back control because they are the real racists.
That's
and America's
exactly right.
waking up to that.
Yep.
You saw BLM. 60 million went bye-bye in the wind.
That's exactly right, and that's why. I call them the deep state cabal.
Right.
The deep state cabal is very afraid of what we're doing. I've got a lot of support behind us. Of course, Mark Meadows and that group, and Steve Bannon knows what we're doing, and we're he's helping, and a lot of others are helping with our cause. And basically, it's just to get America First secretaries of state elected around the country. If we do that, we save our country.
Yeah. I want to talk to Steve Bannon about your campaign. I think there's a lot more that we can do on our side.
Well,
so I want to talk to you real quick, Jim, and have you chime in. I'm sure you've been following the Durham investigation, which is ongoing.
Yep.
The Russia hoax.
Yep.
You know what happened to my friend Carter Page, my friend General Flynn, Roger Stone, all these people, and they used my friend Carter Page initially to get inside the campaign and the Clinton campaign to spy on candidate Trump and President Trump while he was in office.
Yep.
That was all confirmed this week.
Yep.
Okay. End of last week, going into this week. It's all over the news right now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Isn't
that sedition or treason?
You would think so.
It's time to pull the trigger. I don't know what else they're waiting on, but it seems like there's 2 tiers of justice in our country.
That's right.
You've got the January 6th people in jail, and you've got Hunter Biden walking around free and Hillary walking around free. I don't get it. This is not the country that I grew up in or was born in. So, something needs to happen, and I'm just praying that divine intervention will happen, and it will justice will be served. That's what I'm hoping.
Amen, brother. Amen. Listen, for everybody watching, you see at the bottom of the screen, it's been scrolling since we had Jim on. Jim Marchant for Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm.
This is for Nevada. Okay.
Right.
His website is jimmarchant.com.
Yep.
You can connect with Jim on Twitter
mm-hmm.
at Vote Jim Marchant. Again,
mm-hmm.
that's at Vote Jim Marchant.
Right.
And Facebook, you can find
Just
him under
look me
Jim
up.
Marchant.
Yep.
So,
and I sure appreciate it. We can use all the help we can get. We conservatives are blocked by the Republican establishment from getting donations. And of course, the Democrats aren't going to donate to us, but we are persevering regardless. And we're going to win this. And I guarantee you, I'm going down fighting, and so is my whole group. We are bound and determined to make a difference in this coming election.
Now, God bless you, brother. You know that we're rooting you on.
Well, and I appreciate the opportunity to get on and talk to your audience. You're doing a great job, and we really appreciate it.
God bless you, brother. Again, we'll have you back. Talk to Mark. Let's set it up in a month or so, okay?
All right. I'll see what I can do. I'm going to try to get him out here to Nevada for our big summit in early April, probably. So that may be a good time.
Okay. All right, brother. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.
John. God bless you too. Thanks.
Talk soon, Jim.
All righty. Bye-bye.
That was Jim Marchant, and great guy. We just love Jim. He is an amazing patriot running for Secretary of State out in Nevada, and we've got a lot of friends out in Nevada who are running for different positions within the government, and we need every single one of them to win. So we're thankful for Jim. God bless him. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. We've tried so many of Mike's products at MyPillow. Whether it's the Giza Dream Sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, or whether it's the MyPillow towel sets. Me and my family here at Indivisible, we've tried all of Mike's great products, and we just love them. My mom loves her robe. Mark loves the big dog bed for Shakespeare. And my favorite, the moccasins, which are really great for my feet. Save up to 66% off for MyPillow products for you and your family. Go to MyPillow.com and enter the promo code INDIVISIBLE for my show, or call 1-800-716-4639 and give them the promo code INDIVISIBLE for my show. You're going to love it. Welcome back. We're thrilled to have you with us, America. Look, we've got a lot of big shows coming up here over the next couple weeks. Obviously, CPAC's coming up. Big meetings down there. We're going to be doing interviews down there as well. And it's just an exciting time because there's so many different candidates running. There's primaries coming up, as we've been discussing. We're going to have more and more candidates on in various states around the country because it's important that not only you get to know the candidates so that you know who's who, but also, what they stand for and what, not only what they stand for, but what's going on in those states and those cities. So it's important that we do that, and we will do that. You know that we're always going to bring you the truth, and that's never going to stop. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to Mike Lindell, our sponsor from MyPillow, doing an amazing thing for those truckers. Those trucks are headed to Canada up at that border, and I know they're going to be thrilled to see him. That's exciting. I mean, that's really nice of Mike and MyPillow to do that. But besides that, it's just really just a great American thing to do. And Mike always steps up, Listen, we will see you next time. God bless you. God bless your families. And God bless America.
Yeah.